we go. Another live cast with Sandy and Todd.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I know you had kind of a frantic morning.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I'm picking a new color because I did that one the other day. I like that.
I like that. That's pretty.
I like that. I love this thing. This thing was so cheap and I love it. Look, it changes all over. It changes all the colors. So that made my day. It's the little things in life that make you happy. Yeah, so it was a little bit of a rough morning. I won't go into details, but I've been up for quite a while. And Spike's morning, Sean. Spike is laying down in his bed behind me, so everything is calm. I have my yoga pants on. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, I'm wearing pajama pants. No lie there.
It is what it is. You can do whatever you want. You know, I'm wearing my jammies. It's okay. We're all friends here.
Mostly.
If you were wearing your black negligee, it would be a little awkward.
But I think we'd get past it, wouldn't we? Like if I showed up one day like that, it may be a little strange, but you'd get past it. You love me for who I am.
We may get more participants. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I know what the boys want.
Yes, I know what boys want. Oh boy. How do you top that?
Well, I don't want to get too involved with this, but you had an interesting story about your morning because it literally started off from despair and anxiety tears to happiness, euphoria tears.
Yes.
So you've been up for a couple of hours and already have had the gamut of emotions have gone through your life.
Todd, it's just not a Thursday without that, two extremes, just I don't know if I can go on tears to I'm so excited I'm gonna cry tears. It is what it is, it wouldn't be a Thursday, but it is Weird News Thursday. Which is pretty cool. So we're gonna do some weird news today, and we also have a really special story that someone shared with us.
Really looking forward to that as well. Of course, we are sitting on a hiatus from the podcast for a couple of weeks, but I will say this, we're getting very close to having everything in line to go.
Yeah.
We've got some new intros, some new music, a little stuff like that.
Good morning, Vicki.
Morning, Vicki. And things are really starting to come together. So we'll be ready to bring our new podcast.
They are, and I'm excited. I made I'm very anal retentive. You know this. I'm very anal retentive about things. And each week I make checklists of everything that I need to accomplish throughout the week. And I have, my Smooth 70s checklist. I have my podcast checklist. And then I made a brand new checklist for season 2.
Wow.
So we are almost completely crossed off of season 2's checklist. I'm so excited.
We had Lisa on the program. Lisa is a list maker, but she is a list of list makers. So she will make lists of her lists.
All right. So I don't go that far. But yeah, I'm pretty close though. I have to say, I'm just sharing us with everybody. I have to say that I'm pretty darn close when it comes to that stuff because I have a terrible, terrible short-term memory. I can remember what happened to me when I was a year and a half old, but I don't know what I had for dinner. Well, I do know what I had for dinner last night because we got Carmela's Cafe, which was really super good. So I will remember that. But normally I have to make lists. I have to write everything down. The best thing I ever had was my calendar on my phone.
Right.
I can totally keep track of everything. So
that's my daily list. Like every day, the stuff I have to do every day is always written down the prior day.
What was that thing you used to send to me? Something rot?
Yeah, there's something I do for our sports broadcast with the radio stations, and it rotates the sponsors. So I call it the sports rotator, but very easily I just write it down as sports rot.
Sports rot.
And you're like, what the hell is sports rot? Well, it's a sports rotator is actually what
exactly.
It is.
So yeah. So anyways, we are very, very close to season 2. I'm so excited. We've already lined up some really cool guests. We're working on getting some more guests. We have people sending us some stories. We have a really interesting situation that we're going to share with everybody in season 2 that we're starting to kind of work on right now. And it's just going to be a really cool season. And if you guys have any ideas of things that you want us to do or see, please let us know. Because we would love to incorporate it. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome to. If you want to come on the video. If you don't want to be on the video, but you still want to tell us your story, we'll just record you and we can do the audio only version of our podcast, put you on that.
A lot of options.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, and we'd love to have you come on with us. I'm really excited to see more people interacting with us as time goes on, and I knew that would happen, but it's just really exciting to see. So.
We've gotten a lot of people sharing stories, and you're going to hear more and more today. We've got a story. Your brother's going to be on our live on Sunday to share his story. That'll be live, so we'll actually be able to interact with him a little bit.
He's so funny about this thing. He's so funny. He called me, he messaged me last night and told me he thinks he's got it. I said, I hope you do. You just have to be on Facebook, Sean. That's all you have to do.
What's he got? What's he got, though? I mean... I hope it's not some sort of, horrible, an infliction or something like that. Oh,
God. He's so funny. Well, he actually had, Sean, didn't you have your entire eardrum removed? Was it your whole eardrum was removed a couple years or so ago? So he's actually deaf in one ear. He had a lot of ear issues over the years.
I was going to grab the phone and then put it over to the other ear because he couldn't actually use it. I don't know if that's the case. So
I always have to yell at him because he can't hear in one ear. He screams everything.
Thanks for listening, Sean.
I'm sure he can hear you all the way over here. Thanks, Todd.
I'm sure.
So Sean will be on Sunday, and I have to be honest, I didn't know the stuff that he's going to talk to us about because he just didn't ever want to tell anybody because of what he thinks is, the stigma of people having experiences. Yeah.
I ran into somebody, I told you about him yesterday, who reached out because of radio, and it turns out that he's got something going on in his home, and it could be a really bad issue.
Yeah.
That I kind of had to talk him through yesterday.
I'm a little concerned about it.
I am too. And I don't think he's concerned enough about it, but we're going to hopefully either have him on the show or at least tell his story in the next couple of weeks as well. So
yeah, that's really good. I said to you, and I was being serious, that this is sort of a Dead Files type of situation.
Yeah.
Or at least it seems like it is to me. So very interesting stuff. And hopefully we can help. One of our goals in doing this is to help people. And with our experiences that we've had and our experience with investigations, we're hoping that we can help some people too.
Absolutely. Well, should we get started?
Yeah. And at first I have to show everybody this. I didn't show everybody this yet.
Oh, yes.
Look at my prayer candle. It's Snoop Dogg. I'm so excited about this. And it smells, you know what? And it smells really good too.
Are you going to go ahead and light that at any point?
Yeah, I probably will. I almost don't want to. Hi, Jordan. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. I do. I almost didn't want to, but it smells so good. I'm sure that it will be great.
I think you have to.
I know. Should I do it right now?
Yeah, do it while we do the weird news intro.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Weird news time. And now, weird news.
All right, I am lighting the Snoop Dogg candle. Of course, it's taking forever. Oh, look.
Oh, my God. Don't burn the house down, for Christ's sakes.
I know. Who would have thought? All right, ready? Look, there it is. Snoop Dogg, Saint Snoop. All right, I'm going to put it over here so that I can't kill myself or anyone else in my household right now.
Yeah,
I know. All right, so weird news. We've got a few different stories this week. This one is just kind of funny, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because it's funny. The cat food brand, Fancy Feast.
Yep.
They're launching a new line of those little single serve entrees that they do.
Absolutely.
Well, they're calling this new line Petites. And they've decided that they are going to release a companion cookout for humans that features recipes that go with their different types of entrees for cats.
So basically, whatever your cat's eating, you can cook something for yourself that goes along with it?
Apparently so. And I mean, that's wonderful, I guess, but it kind of creeps me out because, I don't know if I want to eat the same thing as my cats want to eat.
Get some help.
It's actually available if anybody is interested in it. And, it's a little weird, but I'm sure there are plenty of people who would like to do that. You could, there are so many cat people in the world. I have 3 myself, all rescues, and I know that they love treats. that, maybe you want to have that special time with your cat. It is available for download. It's a single serve cookbook. It has 12 different human recipes inspired by your cat's new favorite petite entrees.
Now, I hope none of the actual recipes involve having to use Fancy Feast. That would be bad.
Isn't that weird, though? Like, I would have never thought of doing that. It's an interesting marketing idea, and it'll be interesting to see who bites. No pun intended.
I hope nobody.
So, yeah, just a quick little weird news, because I just thought that was really interesting. My candle has calmed down, by the way.
Good. I'm glad. Snoop Dogg. He probably would use that to light his blunts. That's what he would use it for.
Somebody asked me, too, if there was a Martha Stewart one. And I said, yes, there is a Martha Stewart. You got
to get that and put them together. Yes.
I'm going to get the Martha one, too. I love these. I think they're just cool. And they smell good, too. So, okay. So let's talk about this weird news story from a TikTok user. It was, the user's name is Casey. And he recently moved into a new neighborhood. Now, by new neighborhood, I'm not sure if it's just him looking at the neighborhood as new, or it's sort of a newly built, you know how new neighborhoods pop up everywhere.
Yeah, I think in looking at it, it looks like new for him and new.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. So he put up a post on TikTok. He took a walking tour of the neighborhood, and the neighborhood has all of the beautiful sounds of nature and happiness and all of these. It looks like maybe they're in Arizona or something. It looks a little barren to me. You know, that California, Arizona, Nevada look.
Yep.
And he said, I don't think this is normal. We started to realize all the bird and nature sounds were on repeat. So they kept hearing the same sounds over and over and over again. So when they looked around, they found speakers hidden throughout the entire neighborhood. So on the right-hand side, you can see there's like a water drain. And they dug around in the rocks a little bit and found a speaker there, like a storm drainage thing.
Yeah.
And so they're finding mini speakers between rocks, pipes in the ground, and it's been viewed now by over 1 million people. And he's like, I don't think this is normal. My thought is that this may be something that the developers put in just to sort of, entice people into the beauty of it, especially if you're in a desert location. You're not going to have a lot of that sound.
Well, and it's a new location, so there's probably not a lot of full-grown trees and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So in order to make it a selling point, just like people when they sell their houses, when they stage them and they put different furniture in and stuff like that just to sell the house. It's basically or they bake cookies before an open house.
So
that entices people.
Smells homey.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's weird, but I guess it's just something that we've never seen before, so it's going to seem weird.
It still's weird.
But it's weird. It's weird. Why wouldn't you at least tell your people that, we've piped in these, it's just enhancing the neighborhood and, or I don't even know. But I just thought it was so strange.
It seems kind of futuristic from one of those old 1960s, future stories where everything's fake and all the birds are fake and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's almost like a Big Brother type of thing. I can see people, the conspiracy theorists that going, it's Big Brother, the government is watching you. And, who am I to say what's going on there? But it was just very strange. Can you imagine that? Just walking through your neighborhood and going, I heard that bird 12 minutes ago.
Well, I mean, there are people that really hone in on that kind of stuff. And,
it's true.
Yeah. So.
All right. And the last one is a really cool one because ever since I was a kid, I have been fascinated with Loch Ness. It's actually on my bucket list. And I know that there are so many people who say that there's nothing down there. I don't know that I necessarily believe that there's no creature in Loch Ness. But much like the Beast of Bray Road that we talked about a week or so ago, obviously, if there is something down there, then there has to be more than one of them because how would they survive without procreation?
Yeah, well, if it's an animal that is of this world, sure.
Right. Right.
You
exactly.
know? But if it's an animal from another existence that comes through that split in the time frame level transponder, then you never know.
And that's why I get so excited about this stuff, because you don't know, and your imagination can go wild, and it's so much fun to think of all the possibilities. I love the whole Bigfoot idea. I love because we don't know. We just don't know. So the Loch Ness monster debate has been ignited once again because a tourist caught an interesting picture while vacationing there recently. A lot of people think it's the best picture of Nessie ever taken, and that it's definitely real. There are, of course, plenty of naysayers. The man is named Steve Chalice. He took the picture from the shore on the banks of the Loch Ness when he was on vacation in Scotland. He said he saw a ripple in the water and assumed it was a big fish that he estimated was about 8 feet long. He says he thought it was a catfish. Some people say a sturgeon. And sturgeons, that was my first thought, is because sturgeons can be huge, absolutely huge. I've never seen one that big, but I have seen pictures of them, and they are pretty big. The problem is that the water's very dark in Loch Ness, and it's very murky, so you can't really tell what's under the surface in these pictures. Most of the experts are saying it's a big fish, and the problem, though, Todd, is that it is a picture, so it's hard to tell much of anything because it's just one moment in time. It's easy to kind of take it out of context without maybe a video or a series of pictures.
Well, to me, it's just like doing a paranormal investigation. You may have the picture, but if you don't have something else to back that up, like it's an experience that looks weird. To me, it looks like a fish, but I can also see where if it's not a fish, it could be a Loch Ness monster. So I can see both sides of it.
I do too. And I've seen a lot of these supposed pictures of Nessie over the years, and this looks more fish-like than the other ones did. Yeah. It's not as rounded of a hump as I would have thought. So my guess is that it is a large fish, probably a sturgeon or something like that. I mean, 8 feet long is pretty big. There was speaking of Nessie and Loch Ness, we have one here in New York, Champ. Lake Champlain has the equivalent of Loch Ness's Nessie right here in upstate New York. And Champ has been seen for years and years. There's Ogopogo. I hope I'm saying that right. I think that is in one of the Great Lakes. These legends sort of just pop up over the years. There was also something found in Alaska a couple years ago that was really intriguing to me because it was winding as if it was it wasn't logs. For some people are saying it was logs hooked together, but it wasn't, because it looked like it had a definite path to it, and it had some ice on top of it, and somebody took a video of it from a bridge. I'll see if I can get the video, and we'll share that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's definitely a possibility that these things do exist. I wouldn't be surprised. We found many species of fish and animals that we thought were extinct that date back to dinosaur days. We found plenty of them, and they do exist. We just didn't know it. So it's always possible. But until we get like Sasquatch, until we get actual proof.
Listen, until I'm having a barbecue with Sasquatch in my backyard drinking beer, he don't exist.
That's right. That's right.
That's weird news.
That
was weird news.
I love weird news. It's fun because you get to find out what other people are doing and what they're thinking and seeing all across the world.
You are weird news. I
am weird news. I love it. Everybody loves me.
Can we have a vote right now in the live cast? Who loves Sandy? Go ahead and let us know.
Do you ever almost say Brittany Lee?
I don't anymore. I really struggled with it for a long time, but now it's hard for me to refer to you as Brittany.
How about I automatically, this is funny, I automatically say Brittany Lee when I'm doing my Smooth 70s shift, but sometimes I'll say my previous employer instead of Smooth 70s. And then I catch myself and I'm like, how did that happen? It's been like so long. I think your brain just plays tricks on you.
I think so. My problem with you, Vicky. The thing that is hard for me is I gotten away from calling you Brittany, although that's what I always refer to you as. Now I refer to you as Sandy.
Right.
But
Thank you, Jordan.
I have a lot of friends who I call Sally.
Yeah,
I do.
I know.
Lisa, I call Lisa Lucy, and I have a lot of friends that I call Sally. So once in a while, I'll call you Sally, and then I'm worried that you think that I thought your name was Sally, and so I'll be like Sandy.
Listen, at this point, if you think my name is Sally, there's something wrong here.
Yeah, I think there is something wrong here.
Although I love it when we call each other. Like, what were we? I just discovered a couple weeks ago that you can change the chat name on Messenger.
Oh, ain't that the truth, Sean? Ain't that the truth?
Oh, be quiet, Sean. So we changed it to, we were talking about Three's Company, and we changed our chat. Oh.
Is Sandy there? I'm looking for Sally, Brittany, or Sandy. Any one of them? That's too bad.
Can we get that thing away from him?
No.
First it was, oh, Lord. So we were talking about Three's Company, remember? And we changed our names to Stanley and what was her name?
Mrs. Roper was.
Does anybody know?
Yeah, we'll have to look it up. I mean, we'll have to look it up.
I know. So anyways, so that was fun. What else? We're going to tell Jesse's story too. Yeah,
we got to tell Jesse's story. So let me tell you a little bit about Jesse.
Oh, boy. My brother found a phone.
Oh, gosh. Good. Well, then that'll connect directly with this one, and he and I can chat about you behind your back all the time.
Dear Lord. Great.
So Jesse is somebody that I met in radio and who has always had an interest in paranormal. We shared a little bit of his story through our own telling of it a couple of weeks ago, where his girlfriend and he had visited a town that I believe was kind of settled by her grandfather. Her grandfather kind of helped build the town. And when they came back, she was getting the smell of something that reminded her of her great grandfather. We kind of talked about that, about whether or not it was really the grandfather coming through or just kind of his way of saying, thank you for remembering, that kind of thing. It was an interesting story. And so he started sharing another story, and I said, wait a minute. Let's hold on here. Let's go ahead and have you record it for us, and then we can share it on the podcast. And he said he would. And so we're going to go ahead and do that right now. This is Jesse Wheeler and his story about what he's been through. So check this out.
My grandfather had mesothelioma by doing construction for a lot of years, helping build some of the beltways in Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And it kind of caught up to him later in life. And I was out there with my dad, Salt Lake City, where he decided to live because living in the upper Midwest, the humidity exasperated his condition. He was unable to live here. So he was going down quite a bit, deteriorating, and my dad and I were the last in the family to go out and visit him. So we drove out to Salt Lake City to see him. And we were out there for a few days, and he was actually doing pretty good until the second to last day we were out there. He woke up more spry and awake than ever, and then all of a sudden his body just started shutting down, and his lungs started to fill with fluid. The next thing you know, he was fairly delirious and talking to his older brother Merlin, who had died about 24 years before, and was speaking back and forth about a younger sister that they both knew in childhood that was shot and killed in an accidental rifle incident when they were kids. My cousin Kelly was out at a Tool concert in LA at the time, and the moment that he passed away, because I'll never forget it, I looked at the clock when I saw him draw his last breath. The moment he passed away, my cousin Kelly, who was hundreds of miles away in LA, felt this ultimate sense of peace and literally stopped everything and walked out of the concert. I was the one that had to call back home and let my mom know, who was on the next flight the next morning, that he had passed away, and she was even awakened at the same time, Central Time, when my grandfather passed. Flash forward 9 years later, my mom's in intensive care at Mayo Clinic following a botched attempt at radiation for lung cancer. And she was speaking with her dad and telling him she forgives him. And it was just very emotional because I had experienced that with her own father before. I find myself a lot like Sandy, where I'm kind of a conduit for empathetic things, and I could definitely feel and transmit otherworldly things and events. It's been that way all my life.
All right. Well, there you go. That is Jesse's story. Jesse, thanks for sharing yours with us.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Yeah, I don't even know where to start.
Well, I a couple of things that I wanted to touch on, and I made some notes while I was listening to it so I wouldn't forget. He said that one of the things I want to mention is he said his grandfather woke up spry, feeling great, and then deteriorated. And having gone through my mom's situation when she passed away, I learned pretty quickly that that's like a sign of the end. Like if they're sick and they have a really good day, it's really fast after that they go downhill. And I think that happened for us. And within four days, I think it was, my mom had passed away. So she had a really good day, and then it went very quickly after that. So that's pretty typical. And then the other thing was, as he mentioned, that his grandfather was delirious talking to his dead brother. And I don't know if he was delirious. Like, I think that's the typical way for us to say, well, this doesn't make a lot of sense. My mother claimed that she saw dead relatives, and all of them came to her, and more people came to her. I know I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but she actually said that at one point, please, if you walk in the room, let me know you're here because there's so many people in here with us right now. I can't tell if you're here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that to just say that he was delirious maybe did the grandfather a little disservice. I know Jesse didn't mean that, but yeah, I mean, it's very possible. And I tend to believe that we do see those people as we're getting ready to cross over.
Do you remember growing up? You may not. I'm not sure. I know I was born and raised Catholic, and I know, believe me.
Just kidding.
And but a lot of times you'd hear stories of loved ones coming to get you or meeting you at the gates of heaven.
Yep.
And maybe, it happened. Dave doesn't remember this, but Dave was also in a different place back then emotionally. But I remember when his mom was passing away and Dave flew down to Florida to be with her. I remember him telling me that she was talking to her relatives who had passed over. This is really common. And I don't feel like everyone is delirious. There's got to be more to it than you're delirious before your death. I truly believe that I believe that they come to help cross you over. They know when it's time. And they're coming to ease the fear. A lot of people are afraid of death. And I think that what that does is it sort of helps you transition and eases your fear to have those familiar people that you've loved in your lifetime there with you to bring you over. Sort of like a reunion. I know that might sound silly to some, but I really truly believe that.
I think that, and I also think it could be something else. I think it could also be that, see, I believe there's stuff going on around us all the time. I think like right now, you've got relative. I mean, there's energies around you right now. There are energies around me right now.
Yep.
You can't see them. And when we're at the very end of our life, I think that veil is lifted.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe they haven't come to take you, but maybe they were there all the time. You're just able to now experience them because you're shedding this worldly body you have.
That's and I guess it ties into what I'm thinking too. It's, maybe the veil thins to the point where they're able to come to you. They do say that as a child, we mentioned this the other day, as a child, you are closer to the veil, meaning you are much more likely to be able to see things and hear things and understand things as a child. And as you get older and you're tainted by life, that sort of goes away more.
Humans taint us. We taint ourselves.
Yeah. If you're close to death and the veil is starting to thin for you, in your transition, it makes sense that your loved ones would be more visible to you. They would come to you consciously to bring you over. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think our ideas are pretty similar in that I do feel like that veil is much thinner and that they're able to come and help cross you over.
So on topic, but off topic. I also have a theory about people who live with dementia. Mm-hmm. Because my father is dealing with that. Yep. And I have a theory. It's just, I have an idea. I have a thought process that the dementia is there, but I also wonder if their veil is also thinner. And so they're experiencing things that we don't experience. Mm-hmm. And we sit back and we do, like Jesse kind of mentioned, oh, he's delirious. Oh, he's crazy. He's losing his memory. He doesn't know this or that, or he thinks this, or he says he talked to that. I just wonder if I'm not saying dementia isn't real. I'm just saying I wonder if in that state, if that veil is lifted and you start to see things a little bit more clearly than the rest of us. And that's why people look at people with dementia as confused, unknowing, all that kind of stuff. My father has said several times that he saw his dad or his mother, you know, and then you start thinking, oh my God, he's going to die. Well, maybe not. Maybe it is the dementia, or maybe that veil is lifted a little bit. So he is able to see those people now before his deathbed.
Totally possible. Totally possible. I know where you're going with it, and I agree. It's very possible. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know because there's no way of knowing for sure. Science is a wonderful thing, and they can tell you what's physically going on in someone's body, but they can't tell you emotionally and mentally what's going on. They can't tell you that the veil is thinner. That's right. Where in investigations, that's where the science and the personal feelings and thoughts, that's where they go hand in hand.
Amen, Jordan, by the way. Mm-hmm. Right on.
Agree. So I think you may be onto something there. I really do. I believe you. I believe it.
Jesse, thanks for sharing your story. We'd love to hear your stories. We've mentioned some of the places you can reach out. I'm going to show them once again, but really easy to reach out to us and message us on Twitter at Toddcast. I don't know why we came up with that.
It automatically did.
Oh, okay.
You know what it takes? It takes the first letter of the name and then puts the last word. So Toddcast.
Damn you, Twitter. Damn you.
It's easy to remember, though.
You can email us at thesandyandtoddcast@gmail.com. You can reach out via Facebook. You can hit us on Messenger there. And don't forget, you can also support us a couple of different ways, too.
Yeah. Our Patreon, we just worked out our Patreon the other day, and that's going to be up soon. But if you just want to do like a one-time donation here and there to kind of help support us, you can go to PayPal and Venmo and Facebook Pay. You can do all kinds of stuff to help support us, which we would, oh boy.
Yeah, my name's Sean. Yeah, got a credit card here. I'd like to buy 42 albums for 12 cents. What record company was that did that?
Oh, K-Tel? Was it K-Tel?
No, K-Tel wasn't it. It was the, who was the record club where you could get like 12 albums?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Think of it.
Wait.
It wasn't RCA. It was something.
But it was something like that.
And then they got you because you wouldn't let them know that you didn't want anything. And all of a sudden you've got all these albums that you didn't want, like Olivia Newton-John. I don't think it was RCA or Sun Records, Sean. Who was the Columbia House?
Columbia House. Yes.
Columbia House.
I actually just looked it up.
I think everybody on this live cast right now probably owes Columbia House some money from way back when they didn't pay. And they probably threw out some vinyl at some point in their life because they didn't want it.
Oh, yeah, I did that. You know what I used to do? This is going to sound so nerdy, but when I was younger, I would get those little cardboard-looking inserts that have all the little the names of the albums, and I'd circle all the ones that I wanted if I had money.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean.
No, I really don't.
No, do you remember they were like little, they'd be in magazines, and they were not cardboard, but they were heavier stock.
Oh, and you
paper.
could rip them out. You could rip them out,
and I'd go through and I'd be like, because I knew that if I paid a penny, you still had to pay shipping. And I knew that if I had no life. I really did. I was very introverted because of everything. And I was very introverted and I had no life. And I spent all this time by myself, pretty much my whole life. So that's what I did.
Hi, my name's Sandy.
I was very nerdy.
I would like to get some music, but I don't have the money, so I'm just going to pretend.
Well, I wasn't like 18. I was, like 12, and I knew I couldn't afford the shipping.
That was my best impression of you at 12, not at 18. At 18, it was totally different. And we can't go there on a live cast because there's some very vulgar things that happen.
Oh, my God. You're crazy. You're cray-cray.
I am a little bit.
So, you're cray-cray. So, yeah. So, looking forward to everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the weird news, Jesse's story. And Jesse, from me to you, I do feel like maybe you do pick up on things and you can feel the energies, and keep trying to evolve and keep trying to develop it and understand it, because it will make you feel better to know that, you're not crazy. And I don't think you're crazy.
No,
and it sounds like your family experiences that stuff too. And it does run in families.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that with us. I really mean it.
But there's certainly no doubt that opening yourself up to that also creates a whole nother layer of issues.
Yes, it does. But I think that feeling things is good, and allowing yourself to feel it and understand that maybe you are a little bit different with that stuff. I think once you accept that, what is it? The 12-step program is, admitting that you have, it's not really a problem, but admitting you have it is, sort of your first step. So
admitting you have the curse.
The curse. It's not a curse. You know what? It's not a curse if I can help people. That's why I'm trying so hard to develop it. And I will tell you this, with all the stuff that happened to me in my life and the feelings I had about everything, realizing what's really going on has sort of freed me. It's freed me from a lot of the feelings and the fears that I had growing up. So it can be good.
Well, funny man, Sean, be ready, because on Sunday, you are in the hot seat with us. We'll be live again, same time on Sunday, yes?
Yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central.
Absolutely. And Vicky, you're right. Nice place to have safe discussions about this stuff. That's what this is all about. With a little laughter. That's why we are here.
Yeah, so we can laugh at Todd.
Do me a favor, leave a review for us if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music or any of those places. Make sure and give us a nice review. That always helps. Yep. And spread us on Facebook too. We can't use the word SHARE. That is against the law. If you do that, they'll knock you out. But yes, please let other people know about us, because the more we grow, the more people we can have involved, the more we can make sense for people who are struggling with some of this stuff. Yeah.
And, it's always nice to know you're not alone, and you can join us on this journey. And for someone,
you are not alone.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
That's all I can think about when you said that.
11:30 in the morning, and I was just given that as a gift. That was wonderful.
Listen,
Thank
that
you.
was a gift, and you know it.
You don't know what a gift is, Todd.
That's right. Screw you.
Screw you, Todd. So thanks, everybody. And even if you don't have gifts, if you're just interested in the paranormal and you want to learn more, this is the place to be. Definitely.
Absolutely. We'll see you on Sunday. Be good. Bye.
Bye, guys.